Hey y'all! So I finally cracked under pressure, saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, so I'm going to do a review of it and let you guys know what I thought. I'm a bit of a mid-ground fan with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I really like the original film. I saw a little bit of the TV show, but I can barely remember it. And I thought the CGI film was good fun. So take that as you will. This is my review of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Michael Bay film, which wasn't directed by Michael Bay, but his name's on it all over the place, so you might as well have been. So I'm going to go over the cons first, and then I'm going to go over the pros. The cons are going to be a very long list, okay? Very, very, very long list. Honestly, I just saw this movie to say I saw it. That's the only reason. So cons. Con number 1. Splinter is horribly miscast. Probably the worst miscasting job since Arnold in Batman and Robin. And I'm going to compare this a lot to Batman and Robin because it's kind of that level of bad. A little bit worse. Splinter is so miscast. Every scene he's in, every time you hear him speak, all you can say is, that's not Splinter. That doesn't sound like I'm not even that big of a fan. I can tell that's not Splinter. It's horrible miscasting. Horrible. And he's not a bad actor. He's not. You can tell he's a good actor, but he's so miscast. You're like, what were they thinking? He doesn't act like Splinter. He doesn't sound like Splinter. He looks ugly. Horrible miscast. Con number 2. Well, I can't believe I'm going to say this about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. I can't believe I saw this in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. But this movie is sexist. It is. It's openly sexist. Most movies try to hide it. That's why people have to come up with the Bechdel test and Women in the Fridge to prove that Hollywood is actually sexist. This movie decides to take it easy on you, and it's openly sexist. It's like, yeah, I'm sexist. Yeah, I know it. What are you going to do about it? Screw you. That's this movie. Probably wondering how. Well, Mikey, one of the Ninja Turtles, has a crush on April O'Neil, the reporter. That would be fine. But he makes these sexual innuendos that are very perverted, and she hears them. So in essence, he's blatantly sexually harassing her. And she just nods and is okay with it. So the first time they meet, the first time he ever sees her, and she overhears this. The first time they meet, Mikey says openly, "She's so hot. She's so hot. She's making my shell tight." Those exact words, that exact tone. If that doesn't scream out, "I might take advantage of you," nothing does. And after you hear that word, if you were by a turtle who said that to you, you'd run. I don't care how, you run like there was no tomorrow. And she just smiles. And he just keeps doing that, making worse and worse and worse comments, and she just smiles and takes all of it. And he's not even the only one that does that. Her partner, the guy who works with April O'Neil, he harasses her too, and just as blatantly. And she just smiles, and you can tell she's not interested in the guy. You can tell she doesn't like the guy, but she just takes it. There is no scene where these dicks are hit over the head and told, "You don't act that way, you dick." There's no scene where these guys are reprimanded for being jerks. No, instead the movie plays it like an ongoing joke. Sexually harassing women is funny. That's the message of this movie. There is about a good, at least 10 sex jokes directed straight at April, and they're all supposed to be jokes. It's not funny. It's sexist. You made an openly sexist movie, and you made it with the Ninja Turtles. You have no shame. You're a dick. The guy who wrote the script, dick. And that's the next con. The script is horrible. It has some of the worst lines of dialogue I've heard since Batman and Robin. One of the lines of dialogue is, and I'm quoting here, "I want you to drain every last drop of their blood. Even if it kills them, drain every last drop." Let me tell you this. If you drained all their blood, they're going to be dead. It's not even if it kills them, they're going to be dead. And that's not the only line like that. There are so many, you gotta be kidding me, lines in this movie. There's at least 50 of them. I lost count. And the plot, the new backstory for the Turtles has so many holes it's like Swiss cheese. And the plot that Shredder has for taking over the world has even more plot holes. His plan is to drop a drug into a city and kill like half the people there and then release a drug that'll cure them. Good plan. Might work. But he releases the drug from his own building. And then he'll release the cure about a week later. That doesn't make it suspicious at all. Takes 5 seconds to see the flaw in that plan. And they've had this plan for more than 20 years. 20 years they had to come up with this idea. 20 years. You guys are failing at your job. Megan Fox is miscasted. She's a good actress, but she's given a horrible script to work with here, and she's horribly miscasted. Everyone here is miscasted. No one's casted well. There's no Casey Jones. Shredder is horribly underused to the 10th degree. He's made really generic, and Shredder was always a little bit generic, but at least he was cool. Now he's so generic, he's like something that got kicked off of a Transformers movie. The fight scenes, the last fight scene is okay. The rest of the fight scenes are impossible to follow. There's this one fight scene where they go down this ice mountain. You can't follow it. It is impossible to follow. You will get lost, you will get confused, and you will wonder what in the world is happening. The movie tries very hard to be funny, but all the jokes are something you've heard back in the 5th grade. There are fart jokes in this. Fart jokes in this movie. And I think I've gone over everything. So, oh yeah, and of course, as we already know, the Turtles look horrible. So yeah, Splinter horribly miscast. Turtles look horrible. Worst script since Batman and Robin. It's openly sexist. Nothing makes sense plot-wise. April O'Neil takes a picture of the Turtles. She has evidence that the Turtles exist. And she goes to her boss and says, "I have this story about Turtles," and she gets fired. She never shows her boss the picture. If she showed her the boss the picture, she wouldn't get fired. She just forgets she has it. And she just took it. She just took it. And she went to her boss, and the whole point she went was to sell this story. She doesn't bother to give the main piece of evidence. That part made no sense. A lot of parts made no sense, but that part really made no sense. And the backstory for the Turtles really makes... How did Splinter learn so much about Kung Fu from one book? How did he pull that off? How? So many plot holes. Script's so crummy, and it tries so hard to be funny, and it's never actually funny. So what's the pros? There aren't any. This movie is bad. Really bad. And you'll probably hate it more if you're a fan. I guess there's one pro. It would make one amazing drinking game. You'd probably die, but would make one amazing drinking game. Take a shot every time April O'Neil is openly sexually harassed. Take a shot every time there's a plot hole that makes no sense. Take a shot every time there's a fight scene you cannot follow. And take a shot every time Shredder actually says a line of English dialogue. You won't take many shots with that last one. You'll get drunk from the other ones, though. You'll probably die. So that's my thoughts. If you want to watch it, get some friends together and get a whole lot of alcohol. That's the only way you could possibly enjoy this. Because everyone's going to hate this, and in 20 years it's going to be the new Troll 2. Mark my words. And it's already getting a sequel. So that's why I thought it's a crummy movie, and it is openly sexist, and I can't believe it is, and it's a horrible film. And you guys gave so much money to it that we're getting a sequel. This is why we can't have nice things, people!